than to talk about Stuart Young prick in Parliament. Now, Mrs. Prime Minister, you're a mother, your grandmother, you're somebody's wife. That ain't looking good. The hell you the Prime Minister of this country. And I would like to tell you something. Take Stuart Young prick out of your mouth.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco-trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda. Today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossing. Small pin lawyer you have crossing. Small pin lawyer you have crossing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live on the Workers' Rights Network. So Trinidad and Tobago now is exactly 17 minutes after the hour of 2 o'clock. Today being the 19th of the first month, 2026. And Trinidad and Tobago, it is necessary that today we have this discussion. Now, a very important question has been asked of the Prime Minister of this country, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. The Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, in conjunction to the blowing up of boats within within our borders. And when the opposition leader, you see, they constantly try at all times to mislead people within the parliaments of Trinidad and Tobago. That is why we must remain focused here. Because this bill that they intend to pass, these special zones, is going to destroy us here in Trinidad and Tobago. And let me tell you why. That bill is a targeted bill, targeted at specific people, not place. Don't get tapped, it's not the place that they are targeting. Because if you had a pass zone of special convenience and Trinidad, better you put the whole thing. Because criminals leave from one place to the next, they migrate. So this zone of special convenience, without any evidence, is a catastrophe waiting to take place. And at the end of the day, Trinidad and Tobago, anybody that has sense will know that. So, Kamla Persad-Bissessar comment as a big woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a prime minister, as one of the leading females in Trinidad and Tobago, that other people could aspire to, ain't go find nothing better than to come in the parliaments of Trinidad and Tobago and to talk about Stuart Young prick. Let's go in to this clip here, because at the end of the day, it is appalling for a prime minister. People talking, people get blown up underneath the same edict that you would have said kill them violently, and people questioning it and no question. Man, miss me with that, yes? This year.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossed it. Small pin lawyer you have crossed it. Small pin lawyer you have crossed it.
Now, that what you would have seen there, Trinidad and Tobago, could tantamount to a sexual attack on the job. Because if this is my place of work and the Prime Minister of this country in my face, now I hear some of the comments that was placed within the comment section on the video that was uploaded on this platform here. The one that I would have played in the beginning. The comment was, oh, you remember Stuart Young? Yes, Stuart Young said his army thing, but he was talking to Imbert. Stuart Young was talking to Imbert. Not Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Kamla Prasad Bisesa hear about it when it hit the media. Nobody didn't know. Everybody called on Stuart Young to apologize, regardless of the factor that Kamla Prasad Bisesa hear about that. In this case, Kamla Prasad Bisesa take the floor underneath question, underneath cameras, underneath a microphone, knowing very well what she doing and the far-reaching implications that it will have not just on Trinidad politics, but by extension the world. But she didn't care about that at all. She didn't care about answering the question at all. What Kamla Prasad Bisesa was more interested in is what is inside Stuart Young pants. And that action alone, we must condemn this Prime Minister. How the hell an important debate where it is people is losing their constitutional rights by an edict only by the Prime Minister, that when you was questioned and you know the question was coming, because questions like that does be submitted before, so you know it was coming, and your new line now is that the question don't arise, and then to throw it off, you started talk about Stuart Young. What Stuart Young have in the pants? Man, mismade that nonsense now, man. And many of you, many of the activists, and I am calling on the Women's League in the PNM to condemn the action of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Kamla Persad-Bissessar will have just made a move, an unwarranted move, an unprovoked move on Stuart Young. And examples must be set, because at the end of the day, you cannot be a sitting prime minister in the office of the prime minister, managing the money, the assets of Trinidad and Tobago in the highest court of the land. And at the end of the day, the only thing, the only response that you can make Kamla Persad-Bissessar is wearing Stuart Young pants. Tell this, ask a small pin lawyer. My God, Kamla. And I say that to bring this. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, that the people, the voices of the people is the voice of God. And anytime you start to oppress people, you could bring any zone of convenience. You could instill fear in any, I mean, they could try to use the national media to do it. And your little goons on them that you pay 50 cents to, who you would have now employed and put on TTT to only speak propaganda. And shame on Stephen Rees. Shame on Kingsley. Shame on the Ground Report, because it was a program that I, at one point in time, would have thought it was necessary for people to hear. But if it is, this is the agenda. If it is, this is how you behave. In the parliament, in the highest court of the land. And many of you could say that, here we're going on. We never talk about this thing with Stuart Young. We talk about it at length. I even went in front of Parliament with Wendell Eversley with the same indication with Stuart Young, but yet still Prime Minister, unprovoked. You stand up, big and bold. You're big and you're bad. You stand up. Because at the end of the day, you's the Prime Minister. You could say what you want. People go still vote here. People go still take the bullshit. Because you have enough information, you have enough people on the payroll that could spin narrative whole day. Plenty of them getting paid to talk bullshit all over social media and trying to let people feel guilty for hopping off. For hopping off of the bullshit show. Hear this comment now, man. Hear the comment of this disgraceful Prime Minister, who is a mother, who is a wife, who have a husband. When you lie down in the night, you're hugging up Gregory Persad. And you come in the midst where children listening to you. Don't care about who listening. You didn't care about that. You didn't care about who hearing you, if your husband hearing, if your neighbor hearing, if you're setting a right example for the children and them. You didn't care about that. But I know how you behave. I peer into your psyche. When it is you could just jump and fire over 10,000 people. Understand? I understand you, you know, more than you understand yourself. This nasty mouth Prime Minister, the first woman Prime Minister, would have jumped in the public domain. Yes, you, Kamla, nasty mouth, come in the highest court of the land where you're supposed to be answering questions that is in benefit of the citizens of this country. You decide to talk about what in Stuart Young pants. Nasty Prime Minister.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda. Today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossed it. Small pin lawyer you have crossed it. Small pin lawyer you have crossed it.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda. Today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossed it. Small pin lawyer you have crossed it. Small pin lawyer you have crossed it.
That is the behavior of our Prime Minister in the highest court of the land. You see, a person's words and action reveals their true inner self and what they truly value or show in their hearts. With good people bringeth forth good things, and with evil people bringeth forth evil things. So when the actions of this Prime Minister doesn't match the word that is coming out from their mouth, understand where the center of their attention really is. And to you, the listeners, the people that is listening, when a person's words does not match their actions, something is terribly wrong. When the Prime Minister of this country could come here and say that she loved you, she loved the people, she pledged to help, to assist, and to bring us out, to lead us out of poverty, and only turn around and slay the very people that she said she's here to alleviate. Heaven help us all. So Trinidad and Tobago, before we go in to the rest of the show, fellow citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, I rise not here in anger, but in disappointment. Parliament is not a rum shop. It is not a playground. It is not a place for crude remarks, personal jabs, and gutter-level commentary. Parliament is the highest office of the people. I not them office. When Kamla go there, she used to talk on behalf of the people. But most of these politicians, and they may know that, when a former prime minister, when a prime minister that leading, when a prime minister that is leading a country chooses to speak on body parts instead of budgets, instead of ideas, and distractions instead of directions, is not strength. It's a display of failure. So what the response that you hear from Kamla is actually a meltdown. She have nothing to present to the people. Failure of leadership, failure of discipline, failure of respect of the citizens and people watching at home. So it's not just Stuart Young she disrespect. It's not just the opposition she don't want to answer. It's the comment that come after, to the little children, to the public, to the world that is watching. She disrespect them all by talking not on issues but attacking a sitting MP about what he have in his pants. You's a mother, Kamla. I mean, Gregory Bisesa, I would ask him if he comfortable in his wife talking about another man, one another man having his pants. Utter disrespect. The cost of living is and you talking about wearing Stuart Young pants? Instead of a full consultation, Kamla, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, instead of you pull consultations with the motion that you pass in Parliament, with these hefty traffic fines, you decide to talk about what in Stuart Young pants. And yet, instead of facts, we get foolishness. Instead of policy, we get provocation. Instead of solution, we get spectacles. No answer. No plan. Nothing of the above. Is a set of dunceness in the Parliament. This is not governance. This is not leadership. This is not worthy of the Parliament. And you is not worthy at all. Leadership demands restraint. Leadership demands seriousness. Leadership demands that when you open your mouth in Parliament, the nation gains. Critically, not from embarrassment. Every time you talk in Parliament, everybody supposed to gain. When you come here and make your presence known and get up and talk and people ask you a question, it's not because they like you, you know? It's not because we're friends, you know? It's because that the people deserve answers, Kamla. And this type of nasty, stinking politics that all you're practicing within the Parliament and nobody in reach it anywhere fast. It have to stop. We condemn this behavior because standards matter. We condemn it because our children is watching. We condemn it because the people deserve better than political theater. This is not about party. This is about principle. If our leaders cannot rise above personal insult, then they have already sunk below the office they hold. Talk facts, talk policies, talk solutions, but leave gutter politics out of parliament. The people of Trinidad and Tobago demands better, and we will continue to say so loudly and clearly, without fear or favor. Kamla Bisesa, the Prime Minister of this country, I demand an apology from you.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco-trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda. Today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have person. Small pin lawyer you have person. Small pin lawyer you have person.
And you know, Trinidad and Tobago, what is most disturbing about this whole situation? That is the reason why you see these activists and them that already sell out. They will never hold the government accountable for some of the foolishness that is being said. Just the other day, 2 young ladies would have been detained. I understand that Olive Jack is still in detention. And we would have seen a particular social media activist that would have hunt down people on social media. And you will never hear this dunce that they call Lyndon Mack say anything about this. And let me show you, Trinidad or you just forgetting it. You see when you make or yourself known within the public domain concerning certain things. Let me play this one before. This was just the other day. Aliana 265. And we would have seen Lyndon Mack hunt down Aliana with her saved videos, message down to the Commissioner of Police, Homeland Security, a matter of fact, concerning her actions on social media. But I wonder what Lyndon Mack had to say about her, his beloved Prime Minister, our beloved Prime Minister. Watch at this, watch.
My content was about sarcasm and I fixed it in between. No man.
What you need to stop doing is lying to the public. It's not a joke to issue threats against other citizens and then calling it a joke. Right? It's not a joke to say you want the Venezuelan government to bomb Kamla and shoot 35 ministers. Maybe what you should do is educate yourself on the internet and stop making yourself look like a damn fool on the internet, trying to look for likes and...
Now, that gentleman there, you see, was Lyndon Mack. He make it his duty to go and hunt down people on social media concerning statements that they would have made. And look, we are seeing the Honorable Kamla Bisesa, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, making statements of a sitting minister that have been elected by the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to speak on their behalf, insulting him. And you are not seeing men like them saying anything concerning what the Prime Minister would have said. And that is where truth does sometimes become blurred between facts and reality. You know, very few people is making any comments concerning that would have just played. In fact, there was another occasion men like Alexander does see what he want to see, does hear what he want to hear. Lyndon Mack talk about a girl, or you find she or you arrest she plead guilty, she come out, or you secure a conviction day. She done say it already. Gary Griffith says something within the public domain and watch, you run. You run up there out of yourself.
Gary Griffith, you had armed conflict in Haiti, right? And United Kingdom? Okay, that sounds kind of good. How about this way? It's really an anchor bracelet for your mouth. Because that's all you have to do, talk. Your name should be Gary the Parrot.
And what Kamala name should be? Roger Alexander. Roger Alexander. Gary Griffith would have rebut some of the dotishness that have been spewing out of the mouth of Roger Alexander. He find the video, he come and he talk about that. Lyndon Mack went in, he find videos, he message Roger Alexander. They send the girl to jail. Padarat say he glad. It should have been done long time. You see, the double standards that it have here within Trinidad and Tobago, it is remarkable. Because that same speaker of the House, the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ali, would have pulled up Penelope Beckle's socks at one point in time. And let me, Trinidad and Tobago, remind you of the double standards that it have in the Parliament.
I have an announcement to make. On Monday, 13th October 2025, I received a matter of privilege from the member for Couva South in accordance with Standing Order 32-2. The member for Couva South sought leave to raise the following matter. During the sitting of the House of Representatives on Friday, 10th October 2025, members of the opposition bench staged a parliamentary walkout, which was followed by a subsequent statement on their actions by the leader of the opposition member for opposition and member for Arima. The member for Couva South submitted that under the letterhead of the leader of the opposition on 10th October 2025, the following public statement was issued, and I quote, "After months of enduring bias and prejudicial behavior from the presiding officer of the lower house, all members of parliament on the opposition bench were left with no choice but to leave today's sitting. The pattern of unfair treatment and rulings has continued unchecked and unaddressed. It is now beyond question to unbiased observers that the current Speaker of the House has failed in his duty to act impartially and to uphold the Constitution and the standing orders of Parliament. Since assuming the chair, the Speaker has consistently rejected the majority of urgent questions and the Prime Minister's questions filed by the opposition. His refusal to maintain established precedent on supplemental questions is a direct challenge to accountability and transparency in the conduct of the people's business. Another constant feature of recent sittings has been the uneven and unbiased application of the standing orders. The Speaker routinely overlooks inappropriate behavior from members of the government, including disorderly conduct and offensive remarks, yet is quick to silence members on the opposition bench." End quote. The Member of Parliament for Couva South has raised the matter of privilege based on the submission that the member for Arima attempted to bring into disrepute the independent democratic work of the House of Representatives in the eyes of the public for political gain by questioning the independence of the presiding officer. The member for Couva South submitted that this was an act of, and I quote, "constructive contempt against the House of Representatives, breaching the privilege of the House as the member's actions seek to obstruct and tarnish the democratic as well as independent management, presiding and rulings of the presiding officer. Members, since receiving this on Monday the 13th, I have undertaken significant research and analysis. Members, today I am prepared to rule on this critical matter. Members, the House of Representatives and the Parliament as an institution represent the foundation of democracy. Democracy, whether what side of the aisles we stand, must always be preserved. Preserving democracy means protecting the independence of our Parliament in the public eyes, as well as the operations of its duties. It has always been a precedent of our republic and past parliaments to never bring the presiding officer into the realm of political attacks or aspersions, based on the foundation of protecting the dignity of our parliamentary institutions. Erskine May's parliamentary practice on page 138 speaks to constructive contempt, as it states, and I quote, "Indignities offered to the House by words spoken or writings published reflecting on its character or proceedings have been published by both the Lords and the Commons upon the principle and that such act of abuse tend to obstruct the Houses in the performance of their functions by diminishing the respect due to them." End quote. So, honorable members, in deciding whether a prima facie case of contempt has been made out, the chair must carefully consider the facts alleged and all the information placed before her. I have done just that and find that a prima facie case of contempt has indeed been made out. I so rule and refer this matter to the Committee of Privileges for consideration and report.
So Trinidad and Tobago. Now we are going to see in a few days how far this matter is going to reach. Because at the end of the day, you cannot have a sitting prime minister that ought to be on the people's business, mounting the highest office of the people, and talking about what in a man's pants. And Trinidad and Tobago, if we have to be truthful to ourselves, if we have to be truthful and let God be true and every man a liar, this that would have taken place there in the parliaments of Trinidad and Tobago with the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is wrong. Kamla Prasad Bisesa didn't whisper it off the mic. Kamla Prasad Bisesa didn't just hurl remarks from on one side to the next. Kamla Prasad Bisesa stand up big and bold. And watch the opposition in her face and tell the world that if you want answers, check the small pin man. And we know from cultural norms in Trinidad and Tobago, small pin, the pin that they're talking about, is a man prick, plain talk, bad manners. Every little child, everybody across Trinidad and Tobago know what that means. And I will be very disappointed in CNC3 if they ask the question. I'll be very disappointed in TTT if they ask the question. The Kamla Prasad Bisesa, if she not ashamed of what she have said in the parliaments of Trinidad and Tobago. My God! Small pin.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossed. Small pin lawyer you have crossed. Small pin lawyer you have crossed.
Now, in examining the facts, watch what Kamla Prasad would have done. Watch the body. Read the body language. Kamla Prasad Bisesa stand up. Look the opposition in her face woman to woman. And then she looked at Stuart Young with disgust. I know if Stuart Young might be blank, he might be saying he want a old woman. Look at Stuart Young with disgust and say if you want advice, Axie. That is how we playing it here in this country. Is that the message that Kamla Prasad want to send to the national public? Hey, you want advice? You want to hear advice? Check your small pin partner right there. Look him there. Check it. And if any smart thinking person outside here would have peered into the body action and would appear into the psyche of the individual, one could see that Kamla Prasad Bisesa is full of rage. Is full of hate. And is full of vengeance. To watch the opposition right there in she face and say, wait, your advice? Check your small pin person. Look him there. That piece of politics is vindictive, is evil, and is without accountability. And that is what we must condemn.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossed. Small pin lawyer you have crossed. Small pin lawyer you have crossed.
I told you I want to speak to you about morality in public affairs. Morality in public affairs means when you have put yourself up to conduct public business, you have to subscribe to principles of morality and ethics, even if they are not written in law. Even if they are not written in law. Tonight I told you I want to speak to you about morality in public affairs. Morality in public affairs means when you have put yourself up to conduct public business, you have to subscribe to principles of morality and ethics, even if they are not written in law. Even if they are not written in law.
Is this government making itself accountable to the citizens of this country? Question number one. is this government what they say there was before April 28? Are they the same thing? Do they behave the same way? And if the answer to those both questions is no, then Trinidad and Tobago, we are in a terrible place here in this country. What are we willing to do, Trinidad and Tobago, to stop this nonsense from taking place? Are we willing to allow the Prime Minister of this country to behave out of hand? Are we willing to let our guards down and tell this Prime Minister to do what she wants? Do we really have that trust in Kamla Bissessar? Or are we, Trinidad and Tobago, going to behave as when the opposition was, when the government was then opposition? Are we going to behave like them and just, whether they're in government or not, we blame the PNM for everything? With that being said, I sure that all the activists and them go try to blame every single thing on the PNM as prior April 28th.
And the beautiful people of Trinidad, what they did. It was PNM who destroyed Petrotrin after decades of success. It was PNM who closed down Caroni. It was PNM who destroyed Atlantic Train 1. It was PNM who brought Point Lisas to its knees. It was PNM who removed the fuel subsidy, and fuel prices will increase just now. It was the PNM who removed and cut gate. It is PNM who's bringing back property tax. It is PNM who's presided over the worst crime rate in our country. It is PNM who has driven our oil and gas production to its lowest in decades. And when you listen to that, tell me they could run this country? It is PNM that destroyed Costat right in Sandy Grande, MIC in Grande. I want to tell you, beautiful people of Kamuto Manzanilla and Corial, to understand that in Kamla Bissessar, they have a leader that never stops fighting for them. We have seen her week after week expose this government. This week, she exposed the government spying on citizens. Last week, she exposed the land grabbing. It was her.
Now, one must put all that was said there into question. Up till now, this present government can't open back Petrotrin. Up until now, David Lee and the two other junior ministers cannot come up with a plan. They lie their way into office. And instead of accountability, more answers than anything is being turned up. More questions, sorry. Right, so more question than anything. And we are here once again in the valley of decisions, wondering what we would have done. But I am here today, Trinidad and Tobago, to tell you to once again have hope. Not in the government, but in the opposition. What I have seen so far is a different breed in the PNM administration. In all parties, yes, there are going to be infighting. But Penelope Beckles have been chosen by the rank and file. A position that was not handed to her. And I believe in this dispensation, without fear or favor, but declared it from the rooftops, that it's time for we to go home. It's time for us to go home, Trinidad and Tobago. From since 1956, the People National Movement and National Party have been formed underneath the father of the nation, Eric Williams. Everybody could have seen themselves in the face of that party. There is going to be a level of rebuilding. There is going to be a level of renewed hope. But Trinidad and Tobago, what is taking place within our country, this cannot go on. Can't go on. Some of you might be able to buffer it, but there are people outside here with no protection. This cannot go on. And I ain't speaking here on my own. When I turn on social media, I hear the cries of the thousands. When I look at my countrymen, out of that 30,000 people that was fired, about 400 of those is within my district alone. And to the world, many of you may not understand what I am saying, but it is evident here in my country what I am seeing. And according to the word of William Wilberforce, Trinidad and Tobago, you could say to yourself, after you can never say a matter of fact, that when you have seen something and know that you can't say you don't know it again.
Tonight I told you I want to speak to you about morality in public affairs. Morality in public affairs means when you have put yourself up to conduct public business, you have to subscribe to principles of morality and ethics, even if they are not written in law. Even if they are not written in law. Tonight I told you I want to speak to you about morality in public affairs. Morality in public affairs means when you have put yourself up to conduct public business, you have to subscribe to principles of morality and ethics, even if they are not written in law. Even if they are not written in law.
Even if they are not written in law. Subscribe to morality. And what I have been saying to you, Trinidad and Tobago, many of you may not see it. People maybe doesn't send things to you. They maybe doesn't send things to your phone. But we see it. We hear the cries of the thousands that is on the ground. We hear it every day. And what I am going to do now is play a video from one of the citizens of the Republic. Just as important as everybody else here. You see, no other talk show is going to play like this.
Now, yo, welcome to say now. You see, oh, you know, the Trinidadians who talking about that Venezuelan war and American war. How surely your mother cunt? How surely your mother cunt? Because all they might say something and get fucking locked up. How surely your mother cunt? How surely your mother cunt? Let the war go on, nothing happen over here. Thank God for that. All your mother cunt.
People fearful. All over Trinidad and Tobago, we fearful.
To the Honorable Prime Minister, Madam Kamla Bisesa. A pleasant good day to you, ma'am, Madam Prime Minister. So you don't know me, I am just a concerned citizen. Over the past few days, and the past few weeks, and the past few months, I have just been observing the feedback and the feel of the nation, where since when you came into governance on April 28, 2025, thus far, in my opinion, and I would like to say the reflection of a lot of people, and a lot of people who have maybe supported you on your election campaign trail are not pleased. Now, before you send the authorities somewhere, I'm not here in a disrespectful manner, but rather to voice my concern. And I think I'm not a spokesperson for anybody or anyone, nor am I a political enthusiast in any sort. It's just when it filters down to my home and it affects me in a negative way, then is when I become concerned. I am not politically affiliated with anybody, but in all sense of the word, and I believe for yourself as well, we want justice, equality, and fairness in all sense of the word. Let me get on with it. I understand that the country is strapped for cash. I am understanding that. I understand that. I think the majority of the country realize that. However, Madam Prime Minister, the way in which that you are proceeding to get back money to execute your projects and your plans is not really conducive to the poor people in this country. Example myself. I'll take for instance these traffic fines. I saw a video like just now where a man got a ticket yesterday on the 1st of January, and it was $4,500. Now, you yourself said on your campaign platform that taxing a country into prosperity is not the way to go and it can never work. And I believe that your people is your greatest resource. I could be wrong. You might have a different idea. Now, the other penalties, the other things, now I saw immigration had an increase. The passport fines to apply for your passport, to renew your passport, went up. What again? Different things that the registration of births and deaths went up. Come on, you're making Dr. Rowley and the PNM government that rule this country, you're making them look like them as jokers in front of you. And you know what's the sad thing about it? You know what's the sorrowful thing about it? They sitting down here, meaning, well, Mr. Stuart Young, Rowley, and all the other people and them who's the opposition right now, just sit down, dress back, and set like snake. Because they know you're doing, well, nonsense is being done. And they're hearing the cry of the nation. And the only thing them have to do right now is just wait for election to call and throw back all these things in your face. I don't have no problem with the fireworks thing, because my animals and them go crazy for that. I have no problem with that. But you see these traffic offenses and all the other penalties that has been hiked up and increased with, for if it's money you're looking for, there are other ways. Let us look at other ways. Look at cutting down our price, our expenses with other things. You know, there are things that we need to cut fat with. Why don't we develop a recycling plant, a plant in Trinidad, recycle paper, plastics, metal, and ship and sell to the outside world, instead of depending on oil and gas and minerals for money all the time? We need to diversify, Madam Prime Minister. You know, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just coming from a concerned citizen, at which I am really concerned. And I'm telling you, if an election was to call tomorrow morning, you would lose. You would lose horribly, landslide. This whole fiasco with CPEP and ERP, that was handled poorly, extremely poorly. You don't cut people home, cut people from the job and send them home without a source of income, especially in this day and age where things are excessively high. Cost of living is ridiculous. Yeah, maybe we have gangs and we have corruption, we have this and that one eating our food. But there are ways of mitigating these things. Right? There are ways of managing these things. You can't just do that. That was that was real distasteful. It was very distasteful. For your first thing to do as an officer, send home people. That doesn't look good. It doesn't reflect good on you or your political party. You know, this is just my, not advice, but my opinion, right? And this is my input. Being a concerned citizen. I don't know if this video will ever reach your eyes and ears. But I think you should rethink your strategy. Rethink your strategy. I understand that you want to rule with an iron fist. And you said in some time ago in an interview, you was too nice last time. Madam Prime Minister, nothing is wrong with being strict, but be strict for the right things. Crime. And the next thing too, since you came into power, I know it's only been 8 months, and there's a lot being expected from you. I know it's only been 8 months. I am aware of that. The whole country is aware of that. But in the news, we only see Philip, Mr. Philip Alexander. We only see Khadija Amin, Ms. Jerry John, Michelle Benjamin, you know, Roger Alexander. We are only seeing these people. What happened to the rest of your cabinet? And Mr. Barry Padarat. Right? We only see these people. Madam Prime Minister, if your cabinet need to come out, the Minister of Health need to address certain issues in the hospitals. I recently saw a document that you will publish that immigrants now can work legally in this country. There are people in this country that are not working. I am not working.
I want you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to watch something. And this is where we will go see body language taking place. Watch how the gentleman clasp his hands together. Now, the gentleman there is pleading. He's submissive. His shoulders shrunk back a little bit. And his hands is like this, talking. If tears was permitted, this man would have been crying already. Watch.
The cabinet need to come out. The Minister of Health need to address certain issues in the hospitals. I recently saw a document that you will publish that immigrants now can work legally in this country. There are people in this country that are not working. I am not working. It's problems, it's real pressure. We see real trouble. And I tell you, making Mr. Rowley and Stuart and them look like jokers compared to what you doing, the way you taxing poor people. I tell you, and it's not looking right. You're looking like you have no heart. You're trying to rule with an iron fist. I understand that, but you're not doing the right job. I think you're not doing the right thing, because people balling, those fines are way too high, especially for the traffic offences. It was already harsh, and I think your race driver's permit renewal and these things. Well, I don't see I go how to do without a driver's permit, because I cannot pay that money. I don't have that kind of money. Right? I hope you don't take this in the wrong way. Madam Prime Minister, if this reach back to your eyes and ears, just know we concerned and we calling for help. The country entrusted you on the 28th of April 2025. Please don't disappoint us, because we really don't want to go back down that road. We really don't want to go back down that suffering we endured for 10 years. But if you force the country into a corner to do that kind of thing again, there's no choice. This could be your last term as Prime Minister. I would want to think that you only want to leave a good legacy for the country. You know? I don't know. For the greater community of Trinidad and Tobago, guys, tell me what you all think about this video. I don't know. I just making that. I trying something, because watch me. Water more than flour right now. And I know today, tomorrow, if I got ticket, they got to send warrant for me. I can't afford it. I works nowhere, draws no pay. Alright? Thank you very much.
Now, that was the sentiment of a gentleman that would have believed in the hope that Kamla Persad-Bissessar would have been operating on behalf of the people. And many of us believe in that hope, only to be sent home just after Kamla Persad-Bissessar was elected. And many of you outside there is saying one thing. You see the hurt that we would have felt from the past administration who was there. We close off our eyes to the people that genuinely is willing to help us. And Trinidad and Tobago, thanks for watching. My name is Renison Jeffrey. This is the Workers' Rights Platform. We urge you to subscribe to the platform, so when we go live, you will be notified when we go live. And in closing, I'm going to play this video from Penelope Beckers. As far as I see, this is the only person that is seeking out the interests of the people in this country. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to the Workers' Rights, subscribe to the Slimy Show. We are on Facebook, we are on TikTok, and we currently broadcasting on TikTok, and we have some audience over there, you know. This year doesn't interact too much with them audience, but let me see if we can bring up one in the audience. from on TikTok. Let's see if I can bring up one in the audience that I see in the... Nah. Let's see if we can bring up at least one in the audience member. You know, all the time, all kind of things that take place. We know if they go jump on it. That people, you know, are a little bit afraid of being here, but if they come on, they come on. Well, nah. It ain't looking so steady. Let's see if I can bring up our next. Let me see. So, let's see. Right, so we currently broadcasting on TikTok as well. So we live there on TikTok, we live on YouTube, because right, it's 868. So the many of you that have been there that want to follow back over, that want to go back through the program, could follow us on YouTube, because right, it's 868. So thanks for watching. Trinidad and Tobago, and Kamla, take Stuart Young right out your mouth.
Just say to you that we just left the parliament. You know, the Prime Minister of India is here in Trinidad. They are going to have their lunch and what have you. And I want to say to you, all of us decided that this is more important for us. Amen. And that is why we are here. So you will see all the MPs that were there left, and we marched across, and you have everybody here. I want to make it abundantly clear, the People's National Movement is united in our position to help the CPEP contractors and the CPEP workers. And that is why we are here. We're in the month of July. SCA results came out, right? And we know that the school books is uniform, okay? We understand shoes, and we know that they're wicked and evil, and they don't care. I want you all, that's right.
We're not taking that, so the people ain't taking that.
Mind you all, when the Prime Minister took her oath at President House, every 2 words she talked is she love you, I love you, I love you. You could never love people and put them on the bread line. Right? And we are going to stand with you. As you would realize that the People's National Movement, there are a number of lawyers, including myself. We are now joined here by Roger Boynes, attorney. As was said earlier, we know we have the Member of Parliament for Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, the Honorable Stuart Young, Senior Counsel. We have one of our youngest, brightest lawyers, Kareem Marcel. Marvin Gonzalez, Keith Scotland, SC, lawyer. Paris Alwari, lawyer, SC. Penelope Beckers, lawyer, right? So let me just say, I just want to say that I just want to let you all know that we are truly blessed. Rain fell, and as soon as we were ready to walk across, the Lord has blessed us so we could have this meeting. Thank you. We want to ask you to be strong. We want to ask you to be vigilant. We want to remind you all, this thing about when UNC win, everybody win, was a lie. Lose. Tomorrow night. Because we have to go to the people, we have to talk to them, we have to let them know that we are united, we're going to fight for you all. And the CPEP program was a program started under Patrick and And I know, I was one of the second ministers to continue the CPEP program. It is close to my heart. Don't worry, they want to cause mischief and say my father have 5 CPEP a contractor. My father died 10 years ago. I'm not saying he wasn't a CPEP contractor, but they're looking to make mischief. And also accusing my colleague, the Member of Parliament for St. Anne's, he's a part of the same thing. Wicked and evil. So I want to tell you all, great is the CPEP program.
And this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live on the Workers' Rights Network. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, or you don't know this already, but let me talk to the world. This person here is Kamla Bissessa. That is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this person here now is Stuart Young, who was the previous Prime Minister, but he's currently the sitting MP for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's East. And during an intense debate, Kamla Bissessa would have been asked a question by the opposition leader, which is a duty to do so. And Kamla Bissessa would have found nothing better than to talk about Stuart Young prick in Parliament. Yeah, you're hearing me. Kamla Bissessa would have found nothing better than to talk about Stuart Young prick in Parliament. Now, Mrs. Prime Minister, you're a mother, your grandmother, you're somebody's wife. That ain't looking good. The hell you's the Prime Minister of this country. And I would like to tell you something. Take Stuart Young prick out of your mouth.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda. Today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossing. Small pin lawyer you have crossing. Small pin lawyer you have crossing.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Apple Card members can earn unlimited daily cash back on everyday purchases wherever they shop. This means you could be earning daily cash on just about anything, like a